Have you been considering selling your house by yourself? I mean, heck, it's a freaking hot seller's market. Why shouldn't you? All right, you guys, in this video, we're going to review an article that was written by Kara Amir and posted in Inman News that discusses the 6 reasons that a for sale by owner probably isn't the best way to go, even in a hot seller's market. So stick around to the end of this video and we'll share with you a resource that will give you a free, instant, no obligation sales valuation of your property. Okay, but it's a super hot seller's market, you say. There's not enough inventory, you say. Houses are freaking flying off of the shelves, you say. So why wouldn't a for sale by owner be a great idea in this market? So first of all, I want to tell you guys, I'm going to teach you a little real estate lingo. Real estate lingo is for sale by owner in the real estate world translates over to a FSBO. So if you really want to sound like you know what you're talking about in the real estate world, just start calling a for sale by owner a FSBO and you'll sound really, really smart. So recently I read an article in one of the premier real estate journalist magazines called Inman News that discusses the 6 reasons that FSBOs fail. In fact, she said epically fail in a really hot real estate market. So what I'd like to do with you guys today is just run through that list and I'll share with you my thoughts and then you can determine for yourself if it's worth giving it a try or not. So in the article, our author shared 6 reasons why FSBOs typically fail, even in a hot market, but also in any market, okay? So the first reason that FSBOs specifically usually fail is bad pricing, okay? Owners really don't have the resources that a real estate agent has in order to assess what's happening in their market. Is the market going up? Is it going down? Where are people actually making offers at? What are things closing at? What are the trends? All those kinds of things. They just don't have the resources and the knowledge that a realtor has in order to appropriately price their home. The second reason that they price it bad is it becomes very emotional for the seller. They're like thinking, oh, but I spent 50 grand on this pool. Well, sorry, pools only give you about 10 grand of value. Oh, well, we just recently redid all the light fixtures in the house, even though the house was built back in the 1980s. And so I think we should be able to recoup and probably make more than the money that we spent on the light fixtures. So there's a lot of emotional reasons that sellers price their homes where they price them, and a lot of them have nothing to do with the market or what the market will bear at that point. So that's the first reason why FSBOs or for sale by owners typically fail in any market. The second reason is lack of marketing. Well, Katie, we're in a hot realtors market or a hot sellers market right now. We don't need to market our property. That has nothing to do with anything. You know, all we have to do is like put a sign out in front of the yard and we're going to have 28 million people flocking to our home to buy it because there's just no other inventory on the market. Well, not exactly, especially if your for sale by owner sign is buried way back in the back of your neighborhood. It's really, really difficult to find that. And a lot of times you think, okay, well, I'm going to put it on Zillow and I'll put it on these other sites and I'll put it on the Facebook groups and I'll do all that. Well, that might attract a couple of buyers to you, but how qualified are those buyers? Because we find in reality that when we list our properties on some of those sites, what we get is a lot of looky-loos, a lot of potential buyers for the future. So that may or may not help you very much when you're doing that. All right. And things that you should know is one of the biggest, most important jobs of your realtor is to market your property. And so we have perfected systems, we have strategies. I have a really, really robust marketing strategy that I would love to share with you if you're considering selling your house by yourself. All right, so anyway, you're the homeowner. You're probably not the best real estate marketer out there. And yes, even in a hot seller's market, it needs to be appropriately marketed. All right, number 3, no access to the house, right? This is not surprising. You have to go to work. You don't have a lockbox. You don't have the special tools that the realtors have in order to do that. So you have to be available to show the home. And a lot of times the buyers hate it when the actual seller is there in the house because they don't have the freedom to look around. They don't have the it just doesn't feel good to the buyers very much. So not surprising when a buyer wants to look at your house, it's not always convenient for you. So it makes it very difficult for people to get into your house. And so that makes it difficult to show and negotiate and sell your house. If people can't get into it, they can't make offers. And if you can't show it when it's convenient to them and when they want to see it, they might just throw up their hands and say next and move on to the next one. So the third reason that FSBOs epically fail is the access to the house. Number 4, the seller's inability to talk money and negotiate. You may think that you're super savvy. You may think that all you have to do is throw a price up there and they're going to give it to you, but it's not always how it works. So sellers don't know how to vet the looky-loos, so those people who just kind of want to see the house because they're curious or they're in the beginning stages of their real estate search, or they're just junkies about it, right? They don't know how to ask the right questions to pre-qualify them, so that you don't have to have everybody in your home. It can feel really uncomfortable to ask such personal financial questions, and people might not even be willing to give it to you because you're the actual seller. Sellers also don't know how to negotiate on their own behalf as they move through the real estate transaction. There are certain points along the way that you may have to renegotiate that price. You may have to renegotiate the terms, and you don't have the experience to know how to move yourself through that process. And so in the long run, you're going to end up netting less by selling it yourself than you would had you been willing to cough up the commission that it would cost you to pay the professionals to sell your house for you. So poor negotiation skills, poor understanding of the transaction itself, that inability to talk money and to negotiate with your buyer, that's a huge, huge reason that for sale by owners epically fail. All right, number 5, sellers a lot of time have unrealistic expectations. Oh my goodness. So this lack of experience, this lack of knowledge on the part of the seller gives them unrealistic expectations around what really is one of the most important, largest financial transactions that they will ever participate in. So from the value of the property to the process of selling itself, there is so much to understand and negotiate. Even if you're somebody who's bought and sold several properties, there's nuances and new things that come up in every single transaction, and that lack of knowledge can cost you greatly, greatly. All right. Number 6. This is probably the most important reason that for sale by owners epically fail. You've already put out there to the marketplace that you're not excited about agents. Agents are typically who bring buyers to you. So you've already demonstrated that you have agent avoidance. And when an agent picks up the phone and calls you, you've got this huge wall up that says, why are you calling me? Why are you talking to me? I don't want to talk to you. So I'm going to share a little something that is straight from the article, so forgive me from reading, but I want to read you because she says this better than I possibly could. So she says this, quote, speaking of paying a commission, for sale by owners willing to cooperate might think that that's all that's needed to sell their home. Let an agent bring in the buyer and let him or her do all of the work. When agents showing up at their door are only interested in listing their home, they might wonder where all the agents with the buyers are. In reality, agents don't want to do twice the work for half the paycheck, on top of taking on the additional liability of stepping into an unrepresented seller situation. Agents know that these kinds of sellers don't have a good grasp of the process. They might be unrealistic and not comply with the contractual requirements to ensure that everything gets done within the required timelines. Also, FSBOs might not understand that an agent representing a buyer doesn't represent them, despite any disclosures provided, and continually rely on the agent for direction and advice, which puts them in a precarious professional position. The sellers might downplay the condition of their home, deny they need to make certain repairs, or not handle those repairs as well as they would if a listing agent was managing the process. When it comes time for closing, FSBOs might not understand that they have to be moved out entirely by the day of closing, unless otherwise negotiated, or that they have to leave the home spotless with no garbage left behind, close quote. All right, so agent avoidance is a huge, huge reason that for sale by owners don't do well in any market. Buyers are a little leery, sellers don't know what they're doing. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in a for sale by owner. So in conclusion, It's been my experience and the experience of many, many other agents that have shown us that the reasons that for sell by owners fail epically can be avoided and are extremely predictable. Seasoned sales agent will more than earn their commission by getting you more money with less stress and guide you through the sales process without making any of those common costly mistakes that someone with less experience is going to make. It's always our recommendation that a seller consider using a seasoned professional to maximize their greatest profit, their greatest financial asset, and not make costly mistakes with it. All right, you guys, thanks for watching this video till the end. As promised, I have a resource for you. It is a free instant home valuation with no obligation. All you got to do is run over to our website at www.living48realestate.com. Scroll a little bit down that front page, and you will see a field that says free home values. You're going to type in your address there. You'll be able to see an estimated sales opinion. If you would like a more detailed analysis of your property or to discuss our flexible sales commission options, because yes, we have options for you, please contact me today at 480-415-1341. Again, this is Katie with the Living 48 Real Estate team, and my direct number is 480-415-1341. Thanks so much for joining us for this video blog today, and we will catch you on our next one.